Welcome back to the Nick and Dylan Show on the Belts Off podcast. New name for you guys. We got a few topics today, some interesting stuff, maybe stir up some controversy, getting into families, and let's kick it off. So being nice versus being real. So there's a big movement of trying to be kind to each other, and what it's done is it's compromised being real to the point of people aren't hearing what they need to hear.
Nah, they're just coddled.
And yeah, so the growth process.
I don't want to hurt your feelings. I'm not going to tell you that
exactly.
You're lagging.
I posted a short, and it was about that exact thing. It was a doctor that's like, well, you're obese, and then he starts, talking and bringing it back, and she goes, well, what should I do about that, doctor? And he goes, well, nothing, because society says I have to tell you that you're beautiful and you're healthy the way that you are.
That's fucked up.
And and then he goes, so I can't tell you that you're going to die of obesity and you're more likely to, have heart disease and all these different things. And so we want to be sensitive to people's feelings. You don't want to be mean and tell somebody that they're overweight or not doing the things that they should be doing in order to live a healthy life. And it's tough because it's not really your business until it kind of is. Where is it a family member that's struggling and you're like, well, how do I tell this person that they're overweight or unhealthy when modern society is saying that big is beautiful and big is healthy? And
exactly.
And it doesn't have to be just about weight, right? It can be so many different things of just not owning the things that we need to do in life.
Yeah. And I feel it could be our problems, even if it's not a family member or whatever, because it's our problem as a whole, like a society, a generation, and it's like everybody is just becoming weaker, and we're allowing it, and that's on us. Like if you look at everything that's going on, it's all on us. Yeah. And so I feel it is our responsibility, especially if we have some answers, to pass the answers on, and if you got to be blunt, you got to be blunt.
I agree. Naturally, I think we want to be kind to the person.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you don't have to be a complete asshole.
I know.
Like, you fat little fuck, dude. do some push-ups, dude. Go.
For me, that's what I need.
Yeah. Me too, actually.
I've come to a maturity point where, if you got brutal honesty, give it to me. And I'm so in touch with who I am that I'll be able to process that and go, you know what, he's right, or that doesn't really apply to me, without holding it personally.
Exactly.
I was just looking at one of these videos and stuff today, and it was straight facts being said, and all the comments were like, well, they don't have to say that, you don't have to tell them, they already know. Well, yes and no. If it's somebody that you care about, you don't want them to suffer.
Exactly.
You want them to succeed at life. And if everyone is just coddling them, and to the point where they're almost brainwashed thinking of what society is telling them, you have to own it and be better.
Exactly. Because how are those people going to feel if say you're calling somebody because they're overweight and you don't tell them, and they get diabetes, they die, whatever it is, and you did nothing about it? It's like, how are you going to feel about that?
And I got a personal story on this. So my cousin, calling you out, she had posted that she has a super preventable condition, super fixable, just needs exercise. She had posted, oh great, my doctor says now I have this. And the first comments were like, oh, I'm so sorry that's happening to you. Oh, I'm so sorry for you. And I said, no, that is completely preventable. You could have prevented this in the first place. You can fix this.
Exactly.
Come see me. And to her credit, she's come in for the last 2 weeks. She's been into classes.
Nice.
She's been getting stronger. She's saying that things hurt less. I can see the corrections and everything happening already in 2 weeks. And so
congratulations to her, dude. That's awesome.
100%. Like I tell...
Keep doing it.
Exactly. What I tell people is I'll be the first one to call you out on your crap, but I'll also be your first person cheerleading you. Like, I'll be your support system and everything. Just give me one little reason to do so, and I am on board with you. I'm going to be there for you and push you through to success. But
Definitely.
if you're screwing around, I'm going to call you out.
Yeah.
And
I've seen it both ways. You know, he's called me out on shit too.
Yeah.
So.
And you're on this plan, right? You're in the movement. You're trying to better yourself in so many different ways, that you're trying to lose weight, but you're also, trying to be a better father and do the things that maybe you didn't have growing up. Right? There's so many routes that we can take in life where you can have identical twins, which just by coincidence you are.
I do.
And you can be raised in the exact same environment. You can see what's happening above you, parents and whatnot, and one can dive into the negativity and the drugs, alcohol, whatever. Yeah. And the other one will see that and be like, I am not going that route. That is a terrible route to go, and go completely the other way.
Definitely.
And so it all, comes down to our decisions and what we want in life. And, are you going to build the character that you can push through those things?
Yeah, definitely. I know for me too, growing up, we were struggling, living in motels, practically homeless and shit. And just growing up, I felt I had no other option, so I started hanging out with, kids I shouldn't have been hanging out with, basically just being a juvenile delinquent, thinking like, oh, well, this is my path, I have no other option, I'm not like these kids, I'm growing up like this, so I might as well hang out with these guys, and from there it just led down a fucking dead-end road, in and out of juvie, getting in fights all the time. And statistically, I should be way worse off than I am, dead, in jail, a drug addict. And I came close to all three multiple times. But by the skin of God, I realized that we all have a choice at some point, and we don't have to continue that direction. And I flipped the script.
Was there a turning point for you? Was there something that happened, or was there a mentor or anything that sticks out?
Well, after getting in trouble all the time, waking up in juvie, or getting my head cracked, it was just like, this ain't cool.
Yeah.
And then I had my first daughter, and from there it was like, I can't go down this road.
Yeah.
And I was into music, I was into making music, hip hop and stuff, so it kind of came with that too, like you kind of had like an image you wanted to uphold, and you wanted to fit the part. And so like, me, when I started making music, it was just about venting and what I was going through, and it was related to that type of stuff, street stuff, selling drugs, all that shit. So it was like, it was almost like I just embodied it even more and just went in the opposite direction way further than I should have been going.
You found something that accepted you, that was creative, and you were going that route. Exactly. Which is kind of interesting, because right now you're trying to develop yourself, you're being creative, you're making podcasts, you have your YouTube channel going.
It's in a positive direction.
But it's in a healthy decision.
And it feels so much better. It's more fulfilling rather than, that route. It's like, you knew it was bad. You just try to justify it any way you could. Like, well, this is who I am. Like I said, like I'm not like them. I'm broke. How am I going to succeed? How am I ever going to get out of this? It's like, I just accepted the fact that I wasn't, and I used that as my excuse. When we all have a choice, and I pretended like I didn't.
I have so few friends that I still interact with from high school, because that was kind of the group that I was associating with also. And again, at a certain point, you're just like, this isn't cool. You have, kids, you get married, you do the whole thing. And you can still hang out with those people and be in that same hole. I look back and I see a lot of people that are just in that same struggle that they were back then, and haven't grown since high school.
Exactly.
And that makes me run away from that so fast.
Yeah.
It's so unappealing to me to stay stuck and not grow. And martial arts was a good thing for me to pick up, because you go through so many struggles and so much adversity trying to go through these ranks. Now you build a community of people, right? We found each other through it. There's so many positive people that are in jiu-jitsu and in martial arts, that it kind of builds that support system. So people who came up like we did are now, you know, rolling and training with police officers and coaching police officers and, you know, that sort of thing. So it's such a melting pot from, you know, the lowest income to the highest. Yeah. You know, there's doctors, police, but there's also, you know, people with full face tattoos and, you know, just got out of jail. So it's a very diverse community of people, and they all want the best for you.
Yeah, we're all trying to lift each other up.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's huge, right? Who you associate with, I can tell you exactly where you're going to be in 10 years based on the people that you talk to and that you hang out with. If you're striving to find people to grow with, which is way harder than just finding the run-of-the-mill person who's depressed and talking crap about everything. We all know those
That's
people.
A good majority of the people these days.
Yeah, we all know a pile of people that would take us in as friends instantly, but it's just drama.
Yeah. Right. Like, hey, let's go get drunk. Let's go do some shit we shouldn't be doing.
Exactly. Being positive is almost like...
We're getting beers after this, by the way.
Being positive is such an isolated island that it's harder to find that community group.
It is.
And being men, like, that's even a smaller, you know, portion. Having a friendship group, which I've always struggled with as an adult and as a guy, it's tough. Yeah. And you watch these videos and all these things out there, and man, it's the majority of guys out there that are lone wolves. Yeah. Right.
Definitely.
And so finding a community of people, no matter, you know, what it is, as long as it's beneficial. I also saw a thing that said that entrepreneurs are usually C students, meaning that the school system is so rigid, which I felt,
definitely,
that it's not conducive to people who really want to take the reins and succeed.
No, not at all.
It's fantastic for people who are willing to follow the line. I've heard once that it was for factory workers, right? Yeah. You follow the line, you do the things that you're told, and you get your diploma, you get your paycheck. Okay. Entrepreneurs don't think like that. They do the work required, and then, you know, they want to run to the next thing to achieve. Definitely. And the school system just tries to crush that. So C students, the ones that do the minimum to actually achieve that diploma, but that rest of the time they're off trying to build something.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Their mind's somewhere else.
Exactly.
Their mind's where their heart is, where their passion is, and they're building, and that's how they become entrepreneurs.
They do the stuff that's required, but every other ounce of effort goes into creating something, which I found was interesting because it's not those A and B students that. And I was right there. I was like a DC student my entire high school, just enough
when
to
I
get
went
past.
to school. You know?
Yeah, I've learned so much more after school than I did in school, and part of it was I had teachers. You would ask questions, and they'd be like, "Oh, don't worry about that. It's not in the curriculum." Yeah. And it's like, well, what are you talking about? You're trying to teach this subject. I'm trying to understand it, and you're getting mad at me for trying to learn it because they don't care about the learning of the subject. They just want you to be able to pass the state test at the end of the year.
And that's why I feel like right now, too, personal brands are so important because it's like the school system, in my opinion, is it's not good. You know, it doesn't teach you like real life shit, you know, finances, relationships, you know, anything along those lines. And nowadays you have YouTube where you can go and find somebody that you resonate with and learn from them and create a business, you know, get good relationships, become more spiritual, whatever. And it's all right there. And so I feel like that's where we're going to, and that's why I feel like personal brands are so good because all you're doing is solving a problem in your life and teaching other people how to do the same. Yeah. And you know that's what I feel like the new age of learning is coming to.
100%. That's part of, you know, why we're developing this channel, right? I went from white to blue. That's the proper order.
I didn't even notice that.
Shout out to you if you left that in the comments beforehand. That was not. So what we were talking about is that connection of like having a positive group, right? Yeah. That can be found online now. So there's communities out there of people who are striving to do better instead of all the negative stuff. So even if you don't have a direct friend that you can talk to, like watching these podcasts and interacting, I know, like, if you send me a message, I'm going to respond to it. I'm sure Dylan's the same thing on his channel.
Definitely.
If you are reaching out and trying to be positive, like, we're here for you. That's the whole reason
100%.
that we're doing these things.
Yeah.
And we're just sharing our experiences and our struggles, and it's not always the easiest thing. There's lots of failures. I think I told my coach that, you know, I was with the entrepreneurship of my gym and everything. I have like 1 out of 10 ideas are good. He was like, wow, that's a good rate. You know, it's like most of the stuff that we think of is garbage, but you find that one piece and you run with it. And then you try. You find that one piece and you run with it. Trying to tie that back into martial arts and stuff, you find a technique that works for you, you run with it, and then you build upon it, and you build upon it, and build on it. And then, you know, you try something, doesn't work, okay, scrap it. Try something, doesn't work, okay, scrap it. And that's why, you know, jiu-jitsu takes so long to move through the belts, is there's so much stuff that you have to try, and try for a good amount of time before you realize, that's not going to work for me.
Exactly.
But you have to give it that time frame before you actually know whether it works for you or not. So you
have to give anything that time frame, because if you quit too soon, you're never going to know.
Yeah. Fitness. So if you're trying to lose weight and you look at the scale in a week, probably not going to see much. Give it 2 weeks, you might see a little. 3 weeks, you're going to see a little bit more. 4 weeks, all right, you're starting to get some. Week 6, oh, you plateaued. Keep at it, right? It doesn't mean you necessarily have to change anything. You just need to stay consistent.
They say if you don't see a change for 2 to 3 weeks, then you probably plateaued, and then you got to go back and readjust what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, further your deficit, or, you know, up your exercising, the intensity of it. You know, the progressive overload, all that shit.
Yeah.
So I mean, but yeah, if you stop too soon, you're never gonna get there. You know, just like my road to 5%. You know, I'm trying to do it in 90 days, and if 90 days comes and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't make it, and I stop, it's like, you know, I didn't give myself enough time.
You did all that work for nothing.
Exactly. You know, and then you go back to binge eating, and you're back up to what I started at, and you know, it was all for nothing. So you just got to keep going. Even if I don't get there in 90 days, it's like, okay, well, like I said before, there's progress. There's going to be progress made, and we'll just keep going.
I had made a video about this, that certain people have an easier time doing things than other people, and that is true. But things like achieving your belts, things like achieving your weight loss are difficult.
Yeah.
And people
100%.
want to automatically assume that if you achieve something, it was because it was easier than they could achieve it.
Exactly.
So instead of being like, okay, yeah, I can do that too, I just need to put in the work, they'll say, oh, that person was able to do it because it came natural to them.
Yeah.
Or that they were talented.
Yep.
Fuck talent.
Yeah.
Like, talent is the stupidest thing, because talent has nothing to do with overall goals.
Yeah.
Talent is like motivation. It might start you in something, but it's never going to carry you through.
No. Persistence and discipline. That's what you need.
That's the only thing that'll do it. So you wake up and you go to your job every day. Everyone wakes up and goes to their job every day, but they won't wake up and go to a workout every day.
Yeah.
They won't wake up and eat the right foods every day. If you have the discipline to get to your job every day, you have the discipline to work out every day. You have the discipline to eat right every day.
Just choosing not to.
Choosing not to, right? And it's easy to be like, nope, you did it because you're talented. You did it because it was easy for you. No, this is hard.
Yeah.
Everything in life worth doing is going to be hard.
Definitely. And then that brings me to the guy I talked to about my 5%.
Mm-hmm.
When I asked him, and he said I could do it in 90 days. He did it in 90 days.
Yeah.
And he got all these hate comments of everybody saying, well, you got good genetics, or, oh, it must have been easy for you, or, oh, you weren't that big in the first place. You know, and he was big. He lost a good 40 pounds. Yeah. And he got down to 5%, and everyone's blaming his genetics.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's just he had the discipline, and he didn't miss a single macro for 90 days.
It's such a slap in the face for everyone that's actually worked hard at things.
Exactly.
And you get out of that mindset. If you're in that mindset of thinking that everyone got where they are because it was easy, it's the same people, and this is going to cause some controversy, that hate on people like Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Or people who have created immense wealth by creating a product or a service that benefited millions of people.
Yeah. But they call it a scam.
Yeah, they didn't get that much money because people dislike the service.
Yeah.
How many businesses go bankrupt every single year because people don't like the service?
Exactly.
If you don't like Amazon, if you don't like Jeff Bezos, don't shop on Amazon. If you don't like Elon Musk, don't buy Teslas. If you don't like these products, whether it be a corporation like Starbucks or whatever, don't support it. And if enough people do that, then it's going to go away. But the problem is people like it, and so people buy it, and they're deliberately affecting the outcome of those people. And so you say, I don't like how much money that person has, but then they go buy a product from them.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you're shooting yourself in the foot with that argument.
Yeah.
But all in all, things are hard. Things that are difficult make you stronger. Things that are difficult make you a better person. Go through the struggles, suffer a bit, and become a better person.
Exactly. And that's the whole reason I started the YouTube channel, is because everything I want to do in life is hard, and I realized my discipline was shit. And so I was like, well, if I put myself out there and put myself in the public eye like that, I can hold myself accountable better and gain the discipline I need to reach my goals.
Yeah.
And it was never about like, oh, I want to see my fucking abs.
Yeah.
Like, the whole point of 5% is because it's hard and I need the discipline and I want to develop that discipline. And what better way to do that?
We don't make these videos because we like seeing our face.
Right?
We are trying to give back to you, so please take this from a place of love. If we're calling you out in class, if we're calling you out in life, please know that it's from a place of love and not just
Definitely.
superiority, because we are legitimately trying to make you guys better. We're trying to make ourselves better in the process, and that's part of why we're doing this, is we are putting ourselves out there. It's not easy to just say, hey, here we are. You're going to see a cut about 3 minutes ago. I completely butchered this video to the point where we had to check out a little block because I just went brain dead. We got back to the point. But things are hard, and it's okay to have those setbacks.
Yeah.
We were just saying that if I have one good idea out of 10, like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And that's amazing for everyone. But a lot of times you'll see people and they'll be, oh, you failed 9 times, ha 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 ha. But I got that one that worked, right?
And that one that works is going to be everything.
Exactly. A professional baseball player, if they hit the ball 3 out of 10 times at bat, they're a world-class baseball player.
Yeah.
3 out of 10 times.
That's
they strike
crazy.
out 7 times. So if you're that person that calls somebody up because they mess up sometimes, like everyone does, and you can still be an all-star athlete,
Exactly.
an all-star entrepreneur if you hit that one. And that's not luck. You're trying 1,000 things.
Yeah.
And you're getting the right combination, which we're hoping for this YouTube channel to do. So hit that like button, hit the subscribe, blow us up. We'd appreciate it.
Definitely.
But wrapping up, we'll see you in your progress back down to 5%.
Yep. We got week 7 coming.
Week 7.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
I feel good. A few days ago I was just drained, but it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Comes with the business.
And we'll have a big announcement when he hits that 90 days. We'll
Definitely.
find out how much he's lost or how much he's gained.
Yep. How much I fucked up, or if I didn't fuck up, We'll see.
And we'll be honest with you guys, and we'll go from there. Until then, we'll see you in the next one.